say, um, always speak your truth. I'm camped at a pretty neat spot. Pretty neat. Pretty is neat. So always speak your truth. I was thinking about that, and I thought, yeah, you should speak your truth, but maybe not always all of it. You can speak the truth, that you can be honest with some people, and then they'll not be your friend, or they'll shun you, or they'll avoid you, or so you have to be careful about always speak your truth. But I guess you can always speak your truth, but maybe just not all of it. So, but you can always speak truth. So I'm gonna speak some truth. And what if your truth is something that the rest of the world hasn't realized yet? Like people used to ask me all the time when I was working at Happy Jack if I was the owner. What if I just said yes? Because what if that was my truth? Because that's kind of what I was living in the evenings after I'd get off work, and I might go to my camper and watch a few videos and maybe look at some reviews about other parks, get some ideas and see what was working good and see what people liked. And but then I would go, I'd walk the park, and now I wasn't thinking I'm the owner of the park, but I was walking the park as though I was the owner. So when someone asked me, are you the owner? Maybe what I should have said was yes, because that was my truth at the time. I don't know. Anyways, so what's some other things? Okay, so here's some truth. I have lived with anxiety for almost 10 years. A lot of that anxiety was, some of it, I guess, is, I've had 2 wives that have left me, and family is like, like when I first met Jennifer, I didn't know that I was ready to be a dad and have a family until that actually happened. And at the moment that Brittany called me Daddy, I knew that instant. It was like, yeah, that's what I am. Yeah. So I have this anxiety about being left out. But I don't know why I would have anxiety about that, because that's already the reality that I'm experiencing. So I don't need to feel the anxiety, because that's already my reality. I've been left out of my kids' lives, my wife's lives. This video that I was watching says, if you want to change your reality, just start living it. Don't say, well, if this will happen, then I'll feel this way, and that'll make things better, and that'll be. Just start living. So that's what I'm doing. That's at least what I'm going to try and do today. Now, I started to say something, and then I could hear this little thing say, like, no. sometimes I think that's a good thing to listen to that, but sometimes I think it's not, because that's, if I listen to that little thing that says no, don't talk about, or whatever, I don't know if it's intuition or I don't think it's intuition. I think it's something different. But if I listen to that, that's me being on, because I'm not speaking my truth when I feel like I need to speak it. Now, there's another thing. I think it's a subconscious thing, but because I don't think about it usually if you see a pretty girl, of course, a lot of other things that you might be thinking about are, gone, and you're thinking of, and then you're just thinking about, how pretty the girl is or something like that. So I have dentures, and my mom says, we didn't know that going to, I'm not blaming her, but certainly in the 70s and 80s we knew that regular checkups were a thing, but she said they didn't know, so I don't know. Anyways, and then once it got past a certain point, then you just kind of feel, I don't know, like, well, nothing I can do now. And so, and then one day you go, there's got to be something, I got to do something. So I got dentures. So I went to Affordable Dentures, and the dentist was crooked. He gave me a crooked smile. See, that's either. Now they owe me the very best dentures that they have, but they won't give me an appointment, and I'd have to go 2,000 miles away. But they wouldn't give me an appointment unless I told them the social security number that my mom got and gave to me or something. I don't know how to talk about that. Or the day that I was supposedly born. And they wanted me to say those things over the phone. I was like, no, I give you my name. That's all you need for an appointment. Give me an appointment. And they wouldn't give me an appointment. So, anyways, but I would say this for right now. In Woodbridge, Virginia, if you think about going to Affordable Dentures there, don't. And I wouldn't do anything with it. They don't need your social security number or date of birth for anything. There is, for them to insist that they have to have that. First of all, not that I care anything about government laws, because I think that we're only supposed to live moral, and to be forced to follow government laws is not being free, and that's certainly goes against the idea of equality and being free and everything. But that's why they have us pronounce it freedom, because they think what's free is dumb. Go see if they have free license or permit, and then ask yourself, why do you need a license or permit if you're free? But anyways, so, and if you're not free, what are you? Anyways, but for them to require you to give a social security number, date of birth is illegal. But they don't seem to care about that. Well, I guess they do, because she came back on the phone. She goes, oh, well, you can give me your date of birth. I don't need to do that. But they're crooked, right? So they tried to give me a crooked smile and make me look like I was the one that's crooked, but they're the one that's crooked because they're the ones that did it. So, anyways, so what do I got to do? I have got to work on changing the way I think. Oh, here's another one. But Now I have to figure out how for this to not bother me some and not affect any of my self-esteem. And I don't think that it really affects my self-esteem. But you know, with this thing with working at Happy Jack, I did a very good job there. Maybe the best job that I've ever done anywhere in my life. Although I felt limited in what I could do all the time. So I didn't actually get to do my best, but I think I did better than... I did a good job, we'll say that. And I really kind of thought, for once in my life, somebody's going to realize that they did something wrong, and and the folks at Happy Jack Resort are going to call me and say, hey, you know what? We really shouldn't have had you pick up a weed eater and weed eat all day long for 3 days and lose the feeling in your arm and stuff like that. And you're right. This is, this place does look better than it looks in years, and we shouldn't have fired Julian when he was the. So I think when you do a job, you should, when you work somewhere, they should say, okay, now go do what you do best, and we're not here to interfere with that. We want you to do what you do best, because if we get the best out of each other, then we're all, then we're working our way towards heaven, right? Now, some people might say, well, weed eating, that's not like it, but it is. I mean, it's an important thing, at places and stuff like that. Now, that is what Julian did best, and he did a great job of it. And when you look at the areas where he had weeded it, you go, wow, man. And he was getting his own, and he liked doing it, and he loved it. It was, and they shouldn't have done that. And my manager should have stood up for when Terrence was saying, hey, Julian, there's people lined up to work here. Mike should have said, first of all, there's not, and more importantly than that, Julian is excellent at his job. He's like very, very good. But he didn't do that. And that's not a very good leader or manager or whatever term you want to use to call that. And it's not very good leadership or management to treat people as just a disposable resource, which is what they do. But I thought that and Julian probably did too. And it's not just about me. I thought that I did a good enough job where they would go, maybe we did treat him wrong, and he is good at what he does, and he likes it, and we should call him and ask him if he'll come back. But they didn't do that, so there goes that song. Don't go thinking you're replaceable or something. I don't know. Anyways, but they should have. Somebody should have done that for Julian. And of the 12 people in 2 months that quit or got fired, at that 12 or 13 people that quit or got fired at Happy Jack Resort, out of maybe 15 total people that worked there. Now, some people would come in, like they had some people that worked at the lodge, and then they quit or got fired. And then some other people came in and worked at the lodge, and they quit or got fired. So there's like 7 people that were there all the time. Or, 5, because I don't know, it's not many. You can almost count them on one hand. It's not quite, maybe it's about 7 people, I guess. But yeah, 12 people in 2 months quit or got fired out of a staff total of about 15. Anyways, somebody should have called Julian back and said, man, you do a good job. But they didn't do that for him either, so I don't know why I expected them to do that for me. But well, yeah, I do. I mean, same reason Julian would have expected them to call, because when you do a good job, and I wasn't just doing a good job, I was doing a great job. Anyways, you don't go steal the drive shaft off of a camper that you're supposed to be selling to somebody, and that's what they did to me. They stole the drive shaft off my camper, and that was that was kind of like a slap in the face, you know, really. But anyways, so I got to change my thinking. A lot of, you know, and part of it is, a lot of times I think about my wife, Jennifer, and I go, you know, why, and I think to myself, why doesn't she just see how much it is, or feel how much it is that I love her? Why doesn't that make a difference to her and stuff like that? One of the things that I was saying on that video is, you gotta let go of those things. That doesn't mean you don't want to experience those things, but the feeling of I want that means I don't have it, and so that's what that's the reality that you live that way. Now, so I guess what the idea of the video was saying, that live what you want, so that is the reality that you amplify. That if you're living as though it's already yours, then that's what you'll amplify in your life. So if you feel like you're loved and stuff like that, then if you live that, then that will amplify, and you'll get more love in your life. And if you know, more abundance and happiness and stuff like that. She talks about money, and I guess in this economic world, until people realize that you can't be free with, if you live in an economic system, you'll never be truly free. You can experience a lot of freedoms, but you can never actually be truly free in an economic. I can't change y'all's idea about that. A lot of people say, well, nothing will get done without money, because you have to have people, you know, people won't work without money, but that's not true. That's really not true. You let people do what they love. I mean, I work, you know, supposedly you're supposed to work 40 hours on the clock, but I would always work 45, 55, I don't know if I ever quite worked 60, but maybe 60 hours during the week. And all those extra hours were hours that I wasn't getting paid for, because you didn't have to bribe me to do something that I love to do. And if we all got to do what we love to do, and we stopped making each other pay, we would live in heaven, and the abundance that we would experience would be something that almost you can't imagine, but it would be. But I can't change that. You have to change that. You have to stop asking, you know, each other for money, and stop doing jobs where where it's inferred that people are, you know, if you work at a cash register, don't work there anymore, or go to the cash register and refuse to take any money from people. You know, don't ask for money. To say, if they offer to hand you a credit card, or use a credit card or cash or whatever, just say no, it's all free. But people have to decide to do that together, because you can't just make one person do it by themselves, because we don't want to throw somebody under the bus or overboard or something like that. You know, we have to all do this together. But anyways, so I got to change the way I think, and I also have to change the way I think about my wives. Now, my wives will always be my wives. But if they choose not to be with me, that doesn't mean that I have to be lonely all my life. So I've got to find another girlfriend. All the time I go, man, if a girl doesn't talk to me and just come up to me and say, you know what, Sandy, I really like you, I love you, you're good looking, or something. If that doesn't happen, maybe I'll never get another girlfriend, because I don't know. It's been such a long time that I don't know how to do all the dating pickup lines and all that kind of stuff anymore. And I get nervous, and I guess I say girls do too, but I don't know. I mean, it's not like I haven't asked several girls out, but you know, at the same time, I think, you know, did I ask them with all the confidence that I could have had, or yeah. And I would say most of the time, no, I didn't ask with all the confidence that I could have had. Or maybe, you know, something subconscious in my mind was going, you know, you have wives, you're supposed to stay true to them. But I am staying true to them. I haven't stopped loving them. And in an instant, I would take my wives back. I would love to have my wives. Or I'd love my wives being with me, or however it is that you're supposed to say that. But that's not my choice right now. It's theirs, and their choice was, and I told him that I'd be with him for always, and he'd always be able to count on me. But they're choosing not to do that right now, and I can't change that. I might never be able to change that, but I don't have to stop loving them. But that also doesn't mean that I have to live a life alone. And I may not have everything figured out yet, but at the times where I feel brave enough, or I don't know if that's even the right word. Maybe sometimes it's angry enough. Maybe sometimes it's confident enough. I don't know what the right way of describing that is. But there's times where, you know, so people have been telling me what to do all my life, right? So I was doing a better job, and I made a resort look better than it's looked in years, and they wanted to tell me what to do, and I was the one who made it look that way because I was the one deciding that. So when they changed and wanted to start telling me what to do, I was like, you know, I've been doing what other people have told me to do all my life, and I'm not going to do that if it doesn't go along with what I want to do, which is I want to make heaven. And if I can't do that with you, if you don't want to work together with me on that, then I am not the guy that's going to say, okay, I'll just do whatever you say, because that's just not me anymore. So I don't know. Always trying to better my best and be the best that I can be. I'm going to be careful about that. It's not supposed to be an army. I'm just always trying to better my best. And, yeah. So, but, got the camper looking good. There's other things that I want to do, but, yeah, but looks good, feels comfortable sometimes, most of the time, except for when it gets really cold. Hopefully, that won't be for a while, but, yeah, so, now I get out of that. Anyways, hey, I love you. Thanks for watching the video. If you made it all the way through this far, that's pretty good. Yes. All right. Love you.